That awkward moment when you're doing a Harry Potter spell tag but you haven't read any of the books or watched any of the movies. Hello everyone, my name is Sarah and welcome back to The Literary Life. I finally got tagged in a tag. So today I am going to be doing the Harry Potter spells tag. Thank you so much to Princess from Castle Library for tagging me in this book tag. I'm so excited. It's my first one that I'm doing that I was actually tagged in. Oh my god, I feel included. Shout out to Princess over there, okay? Princess, you are gorgeous, you're hilarious. Like, honestly, everyone should just subscribe to you because you're the best. And also, thank you so much for tagging me. So, without further ado, let's get into this spell tag, shall we? Expecto Patronum. A childhood book that is connected to good memories. For this, I'm gonna have to go with Every Day by David Levithan. This book is one of the books that can actually be credited with getting me into reading completely. Basically, my older sister checked this book out from the library and I saw it and I was like, ooh, that looks really interesting, let me read it. But then she told me, no, you're too young, like you're too immature, you're not gonna get it, you're not gonna understand it, like, no, you can't read it. And I'm wholeheartedly the type of person where you told me I can't read a book, so now I'm going to read the book. So what I ended up doing is that, like, in the middle of the night, I just went to her room. This is like 2 a.m. or something. I went to her room and I would just like steal the book and then run back to my room and read it for as long as I could, take it back to her room, and then act like nothing happened. I proceeded to do this for quite a few days, and then I finished the book, and then I told her, hey, did you ever finish that book? And she was like, no, I don't think I'm gonna read it. And I was like, oh, that's too bad. And then I proceeded to spoil the entire thing for her. I was a great kid, okay? But yeah, after I read Every Day by David Levithan, I proceeded to read a bunch more of his books. He's now one of my all-time favorite authors because he got me into reading, and also I just really like his books. Expelliarmus, a book that took you by surprise. For this, I'm gonna have to go with Another Day by David Levithan. I read Every Day in like 2012 and I thought, oh, like that was a really good standalone, and then freaking David Levithan came and he was like, you thought? Because then he released Another Day in 2015, 3 years later, and tells people, oh yeah, book has a sequel. It's basically about a person named A, and A essentially wakes up in a new body every single day. They are neither a female nor a male, but it's just always someone that's always in their same age range as they grew up. And one day A wakes up in the body of this guy named Justin, and Justin is dating Rhiannon, and so basically he kind of gets to know Rhiannon and he decides that he wants to see her for longer than a day. Every Day is told in A's perspective, whereas Another Day is told in Rhiannon's perspective. If I'm being honest with you, I think Another Day was unnecessary. The book was doing just fine, you know? I mean, I still read it because I'm trash, but Prior Encantado, the last book you read. The last book I read is A Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds. For this book, I'm not going to tell you anything about it because I genuinely think what people are saying about it is a spoiler in itself. All I'm going to tell you is that it's written in prose format, which means like every single page it's like a poem basically. The book is legitimately 306 pages long and it doesn't need much, but it packs a punch. It's really good. If you have an hour to spare, just read the book. It's so great. It's so good. What's his name? Jason Reynolds? A king. A king. Aloha Mora, a book that introduced you to a genre you had not thought of before. For this, I'm gonna say Crank by Ellen Hopkins. This is the first book I've ever read that was written in prose format, which means poems basically in every single page, and I loved it so much. Not only just the fact that you fly through it, but also the fact that it packs so much in so little. It's so great. Oh my god. Crank itself is basically about a girl that goes to spend the summer with her dad, and she ends up getting involved with the monster, and the monster in this context is crack, like cocaine. She kind of like gets involved with it, and it basically like consumes her and takes over her life, and it brings out this person in her that she doesn't know. In fact, the person has their own name. It's a really thought-provoking book. It's like, I words. What are words? Ridiculous. A funny book you've read. I'm gonna go with The Martian by Andy Weir on this one because holy crap, this book is hilarious. It's basically about this guy named Mark, and he and his team go up to space, to Mars, to discover things, I assume. And then basically a dust storm happens on Mars, and his astronaut team decide that, yeah, he's dead, and then they proceed to just leave the planet without him, which... what kind of people are those? You genuinely wouldn't expect this book to be funny, but honestly, I thought it was hilarious personally, and I think Mark is the best human being ever on Earth. Or on Mars. It is a science fiction centered book, but the way that the concepts are explained are very easy to grasp and understand, and you can really just focus on the plot and the story and the humor. Sonorus, a book that you think everyone should know about. The Female of the Species by Mindy McGinnis. Just read it. I don't know how I'm supposed to explain to you what this book is about because I have a feeling that if I try, I'm not gonna do the justice that it deserves. So just read it. And I feel like it's popular, but it's nowhere near as popular as it could be. Understand that it does talk about rape culture, so this is me giving you a trigger warning for that. So much more people should read this book. This is such an important book. Obliviate, a book or spoiler you would like to forget having read. I'm gonna go with We Were Liars by... I don't know the author. I'm gonna go with We Were Liars by Lockhart on this one because I got spoiled for this book so hard. And it's really interesting because a good majority of the book and a good majority of reviews are talking about how you should never spoil this book for anyone and then just leave it up to me to get the ending spoiled for myself. It wasn't really anyone's fault for doing it. It was honestly mine. I was being careless and reckless. You know what? That doesn't even matter because I didn't even end up liking the book anyway. If I'm being honest, this book felt so rubbish. It just felt so bad. Like, it was just bad. At least for me. It has a lot of good reviews. I just didn't feel it at all. I feel like the writing was choppy. I feel like the main character just kept getting so many headaches. Oh my god, she kept getting so many headaches, and I just kept questioning why the author felt the need to write about her headaches in like excruciating detail. We get it, she's getting headaches. And I feel like a majority of the characters are just really annoying and they're just dumb. And the things that they do in the book could really be avoided if they just weren't dumb. Like, they were all just imbeciles. Every single one of them. Imperio, a book you had to read for school. For this, I'm gonna go with every single Shakespeare book ever. I swear everyone and their dog has read Shakespeare at some point in their life. You know, Romeo and Juliet, Macbeth, like from McDonald's, what am I saying? You know, Romeo and Juliet, Macbeth, Hamlet, A Midsummer Night's Dream? A Midnight Summer's Dream? That sounds weird. A Midsummer's Night's Dream. A Midsummer's Night's Dream, A Tale of Two Cities, all that good stuff, King Arthur, all of them, like, we've all read them. Crucio, a book that was painful to read. I'm gonna change this to a book that is painful to read, and that is The Gentleman's Guide to Vices and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. I'm currently reading this book and I'm not liking it, and I'm trying so hard to continue reading and not DNF it because so many people love it so much and I want to be part of that, but like, I just don't understand what the hype is about. It's just annoying. He's just like, the main character is just annoying. I've rolled my eyes so many times reading this book that I was concerned that this was gonna happen. Ava Kedavra, a book that could kill. So with this question, I'm supposed to interpret it as I will, and I'm going to go for a book that could kill your heart. And that is Salt to the Sea by Ruta Sepetys. Let me just tell you, Mrs. Ruta, she can write, okay? This woman can write. This is one of the first historical fiction books I've ever read. It's centered around World War II in East Prussia. And the thing is, she's actually so brutal, she doesn't care about your feelings. Like, feelings where? Who? I don't know her. So that is going to be it for this Harry Potter spell tag. Thank you so much to Princess from Castle Library for tagging me, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye! This is literally a makeup brush, but now it's a wand. DIY, my friends. DIY.